Welcome back to Oathbound Gaming. My name's Greg, or Neckrage from the Orenthal. Today we're looking at the Elementalist from Elyon, or Elyon, however you want to pronounce or pronuncialize this wonderful game. So we are looking at the Elementalist. We're going to look at all the skills, all of the skill attributes to see exactly how everything works, what this class is made of, what can they do, what do they bring to the table. Let's get started, shall we? First, we're going to start with the tab ability here, which is an ability that cannot be changed. Every class has a tab ability. This is always on here. For this class, so the Elementalist, they get a blink, right? Ran to the skill key to return to the location where dimensional distortion was used. Grants immunity to all crowd control effects while in use. So they can blink. And then, within a few seconds, they can use it and go right back to the same location. Pretty strong. Let's take a look at the abilities. Electric Discharge unleashes electricity to the front that deals damage when it hits a target. Deals an additional 30% of damage to enemies in the freeze and deep freeze states. Changes into a lock-on target skill that leaves a voltage mark on a max of 5 targets. Automatically deals 55 power as electric damage every second for 6 seconds to mark targets within 18 meters of the caster and recovers the caster's energy by 20. However, it increases the cooldown to 8 seconds. When electric discharge hits a target 4 times, it activates an electrical explosion on a max of 5 targets within 5 meters of yourself, dealing 180 power as electric damage and inflicting an effect that decreases move speed by 30 for 3 seconds. Changes into a skill that is used in place, but doubles its hit speed. Let's check that out. So you can't move now, but it does a heck of a lot of damage. But these are some low-level enemies, so you can find yourself definitely in danger if you're standing still too long getting wailed on. So you'd want to like freeze them or something. With this one I can move again. At least a little bit. It's not too bad. It's an explosion like that. That's cool. Alright. Frost Bash. Swiftly fires at enemies in the front with frost rounds. Changes Frost Bash into a targeting skill. Has a 100% chance to inflict knockback when Frost Bash hits an enemy within a 3-meter distance. Changes Frost Bash's final projectile to fire 8 frost rounds to your surroundings. Has a 100% chance to inflict freeze when the final projectile hits. Oh, I didn't read the last one. You gotta read this. Hold up, we'll finish this one. Changes Frost Bash's projectile to piercing to deal damage to enemies while piercing them, and also increases power by 15%. Back to Electric Discharge, the last ability real quick. Changes the Electric Discharge to 15 meters and obtains one of the following effects depending on the property of the last skill used. Interesting. Electric increases electric damage and power by 50%. Ice changes it into an ice property skill and decreases move speed by 5% for 1 second when it hits a target, 10 stacks max. Activates Deep Freeze for 3 seconds upon reaching all 10 stacks. Fire changes into a fire property skill and increases the critical hit rate and electric discharge by 30%. Very cool. Changes the property based off the last skill. I like that. Frost Bash. Let's see what this AoE looks like. Cool. I like that. Notice how the terrain messes it up? It hits the hill, while the ones further out continue to travel. Gotta be careful of terrain. Frost Shot. Launches a powerful ice projectile made of concentrated ice energy. Freezes, immobilizes, cancels a skill or target shield defense. Alright. Havoc Frost Shot. Decreases the cooldown of Frost Shot by 25%. Changes it into a high angle projectile. Changes Frost Shot's projectile to piercing to deal the same damage to enemies while pushing them back. Inflicts them with freeze soon after. Creates an ice pick that explodes in 3 seconds from where Frost Shot hits, dealing 250 power and inflicting freeze. Targets hit with Frost Shot are not inflicted with freeze, but deep freeze instead for 3 seconds. An effect of the same property, but with the ability to crowd control. Increase the power of Frost Shot by 50%. Let's see. We'll knock someone back. Knocks him back, and take a look at that. Kind of freezes him a little bit there. Let's try that again and then hit him with some electric, which should do additional damage. This person's getting in my way. Let's go with someone else. We'll push this one back and then hit him with the electric, which will do a lot more damage. 30% more damage to be exact. Cool. See that? Superconductor deals an additional 30% of damage to enemies in the freeze and deep freeze state. Electric and frost works quite well together. Shatter. Shatter is the chill that has frozen over then uses the recoil to deal powerful ice damage to surrounding enemies. Splinter. Damage does not split even when attacking multiple targets. Enemies defeated with Shatter are once again inflicted with freeze. That's worded weird, because it sounds like it's the enemy that's dead is now being frozen. But it's the enemy that dies will inflict nearby enemies with freeze. When Shatter is used, Frostbomb soars in the air at a 90-degree angle from the center, then drops back down and explodes to deal the same effects as Shatter. Shatter can be used on enemies not inflicted with freeze. Changes Shadow to a designated range skill with a 21-meter range, inflicts airborne when it hits targets inflicted with freeze, increases the power of Shatter by 100%. Let's try the one that pops up. So we'll hit him with the frost shot. And then we'll hit him with that. That's cool. Alright. Frost Colossus. Summons the foot of the Frost Colossus to trample enemies. Causes knockdown and shield destruction. Inflicts freeze to targets hit with Frost Colossus. Increases the power of Frost Colossus by 100%. Frost Colossus activates an effect in a very wide area, periodically trampling the designated areas surrounding approximately every 0.2 seconds for a total of 5 times. Increase the power of Frost Colossus by 15%. Resets the cooldown of Frost Colossus when it hits targets inflicted with freeze. Increases the power of Frost Colossus by 30%. Alright, Frost Colossus, let's see what it's like. That's pretty cool. Let's go try to hit a group with it.
Not enough stamina. You can't use skills.
Strong. Nice. Frost Strike. Teleports to the front while striking down with a powerful fist of ice energy at the same time. Finishing Smite increases damage by up to 2 times to lower the target's HP. So it's like an execute finishing move. Stiffen, Immobilize, Splinter does not split even when attacking multiple targets. Removes the forward movement and cooldown of Frost Strike and removes the finishing smite as well. The skill is changed to summon a Frost Colossus in place to use the skill on your behalf. Changes the property of Frost Strike to fire. Deals fire damage in a fan-shaped range up to 18 meters from your location. Increases the skill's critical hit rate by 25% and decreases its energy cost by 50%. Can use Frost Strike one more time, increasing power by 30%. That's strong. Targets hit with Frost Strike are not inflicted with freeze, but deep freeze instead. An effect of the same property, but with the ability to crowd control. Let's try the 30% increase. So we'll lower the enemy's health a little bit. And then we will hit them for 2,000 damage. And you can use it a second time. You'll notice this will do a lot less damage because they have more health. So the lower their health, the more damage that skill will actually do. So it's a good finisher. Yeah. Alright. Magic Barrier covers the caster with magic to protect them from external shock. Absorbs damage equal to 15% of max vitality. Grants immunity from stiffen, knockback while active. When the Magic Barrier activates, it pushes back a max of 7 enemies within a 5-meter range and deals 100 power as electric damage. Magic Barrier effects are removed while the barrier is active, and it can be combined with Magic Wave to deal 320 power as electric damage and inflict stun for 2 seconds in a straight line. Barrier's duration decreases to 5 seconds, but inflicts attackers with stun for 3 seconds when it absorbs damage. Changes the cooldown to 5 seconds, but consumes 20 energy each time a hit is taken. That is really, really strong. Alright, let's see what this looks like here when we do this. So the barrier is removed. It's not even close to the same skill anymore. You're using it actually as an attack. It can be combined with Magic Wave to deal 320 damage as electric damage and inflict stun. Let's try this.
Must be used on targets inflicted with a special effect.
Bam. Icy Prison. Materializes ice energy to a circular shape in the caster's surrounding for 8 seconds to imprison enemies. Freezes. Decrease the movement speed. Increase the caster's damage taken inside an icy prison by 50%. Increases ice damage taken by 25% when inside an icy prison. That is such an overpowered skill. That's insane. Changes Icy Prison to a designated range skill within a 21 meter range. Enemies hit by the edges of Icy Prison are inflicted with Deep Freeze instead of Freeze, becoming crowd controlled instead of being inflicted with Bind. Increases the cooldown of Icy Prison by 50%. Automatically activates Frost Colossus in the effects center when the duration ends to deal the same damage and effects. Icy Prison is applied twofold and doubles the hit speed decrease cooldown. The hit speed and decreases cooldown by 30%. I cannot tell you how overpowered this skill is. It is extremely powerful. That's just insane. That's pretty nice. Second cooldown.
You can't change skill attributes during battle. You can't
I'm not
change
in
skill
battle.
attributes
Leave me
during
alone. Alright. 24-second cooldown. Increases the cooldown of Icy Prison by 50%. That is broken. That actually doesn't work. Take a look at that. It still has the 24-second cooldown. That's supposed to be 12 seconds, and if that was 12 seconds, that would be even more overpowered, so I actually don't agree with that, but that's actually broken. It's not doing what it says it does. Interesting. Thought I noticed that. That might have to be fixed and nerfed. Lightning Storm. Strikes down with a powerful lightning bolt around the caster's surroundings to inflict multiple enemies with strong impact while evading enemy attacks. Increased dodge by 350 while active, immobilizes disable skills, deals an additional 30% of damage to enemies in the freeze and deep freeze states. Increases stun duration by 50%. It's already 3 seconds, what the heck? Changes into a designated range skill that can be used while teleporting to the designated location. Increases the power of Lightning Storm by 150%. Removes stun, but changes into a charging skill that grants evade while the skill is active. Deals 204 electric damage up to 5 times every 0.5 seconds while the skill is charging. Strikes down on the ground with a lightning bolt to deal 400 power as electric damage and inflict knockdown when the skill stops charging or its use is complete. Don't let them get that off. Increase the stun duration. Let's see this. How long that stun is. Crazy. Whoops. Did not mean to click that. Power by 150%. I want to check this out. That's a hard-hitting skill. Alright, Fiery Bash. Swiftly fires at enemies in the front with fire rounds. Consumes energy. Scorching Heat deals 10 power as fire damage every 2 seconds, 3 stacks. Projectiles of Fiery Bash final combo skill explodes, firing 8 piercing projectile flame rounds with 52 power to the surroundings. Obtains a fire spear that lasts 5 seconds when fire ammo hits a target. Launches 5 fire spears to 3 of the nearest enemies when fire spears reaches 5 stacks. Each fire spear deals 56 power as fire damage. The frost spear effect is deactivated when the skill attribute is active. Gradually increases the casting speed and increases the number of flame rounds fired when the final combo skill to 5. Worded a little weird. Changes into a channeling skill that blows fiery wind in front of you. Deals 127 fire damage every 0.4 seconds to a max of 5 enemies. Increases damage by up to 3 times as the enemy's health decreases. Wow. Ah, fire spears! Pretty cool spell. Alright. Next group of skills. Let's do it. Ooh, we're getting to the fire skills now. Oh, some more lightning, some more frost. We got a few lightning skills. Alright, Fiery Bolt. Launches lava chunks to the front of the caster. Embers obtained upon activating a critical hit with the fire skill. Changes into clouds of fire at 3 stacks. Instant casting is available for the next use of Fiery Bolt. Fiery Dash available, requires Fiery Bolt or Fiery Dash. Yeah, okay. Inflicts knockback to targets when hit with Fiery Bolt. Flames shoot up into the air in 4 directions when Fiery Bolt explodes, dealing same damage and inflicting knockdown to enemies when it lands. Increases the number of Fiery Bolt's projectiles to 2, but the projectiles will launch in a wide curved trajectory from left and right. So you gotta skill that. Increase the Fiery Bolt's projectile size to increase the power by 2 times. Damage is not split even when it hits multiple targets. Let's see this one, see if we can hit it. Let's skill this thing. What the heck? Damage is crazy. Ah, you can miss. Let's see. You hit with both of them, and it's pretty easy too when they're point blank. It does incredible damage. Wow. Combustion. Instantly activates a roaring fire that burns the targets. Cannot heal while active. Targets hit with the skill are left with flame seeds that explode after 1 second, dealing 75 power as damage to 2 enemies, excluding the target within a 2-meter range. When flame seed hits a target, it leaves another flame seed's effect, dealing damage by a total of 4 times. Changes into a stackable skill. Changes into a skill that summons a baby fire dragon in front of the target for 5 seconds. The baby fire dragon deals 96 power as fire damage to a 10-meter range in front every second and increases the critical hit rate by 100%. However, the cooldown is increased by 100%. Inflicts stun for 2 seconds when combustion hits a target. Did I take a look at this one? Yes, I did. Let's check out the baby dragon, right? That sounds interesting. Baby dragon, go! Will he turn? No, he won't turn to face the targets. So I can stack this twice. Let's see. And then insta-cast this skill. Not even have to charge it. The damage output of this class is insane. Instant casting available for the next use of Fiery Bolt or Fiery Dash. That's pretty crazy. So if they're burning like this, I can insta-cast that skill. Otherwise, I gotta do that. Gotta cast it. Alright. Fiery Wall creates a fire that blazes up from the ground in a straight line in front of the cast for 8 seconds to deal damage and inflicts slowdown. Does not split the damage when it hits multiple targets. Fiery Wall Firewall as horizontal to the caster can be activated in a designated area within a 21-meter range and inflicts knockback when it hits a target. Changes it to a stackable skill 2 times. Creates a circular firewall to 20-meter diameter. Deals the same effects as the existing firewall to enemies within the fiery wall. If the caster is within the firewall's range, increases the caster's fire damage by 20%. Increases the critical hit rate of firewall's damage by 100% and increases critical hit power by 50%. So I can do this, and then hit with this and do even more damage.
You do not satisfy the conditions for use.
And boom. Yeah. That's strong. Try that again. Hit you with that, burn you, and then insta-cast. Look at that damage. Alright. Fire Explosion. Instantly draws out lava from deep underground to activate a fire explosion in front of the caster. When Fire Explosion is used, the activated firewall explodes as well. When firewall explodes, it deals the same damage and effects as Fiery Explosion. This airbornes and splinters, so it doesn't split damage. Activates 3 additional explosions on the left and right of the location where Fire Explosion was activated, increased power by 50%. Everyone uses that. Activates Firewall on location where Fire Explosion was used. This is quite an overpowered skill. A lot of people use this. So I'll use this to increase my damage. Oh, nope, I changed that, I forgot. But there you go, that's without increased damage. There's a reason everyone uses this skill. It's ridiculous. This class is a little insane. You're thinking, oh, glass cannon, they must die real fast. Nope. That's so strong. Alright. Lightning Strike. Summons an electric charge that instantly inflicts strong impact. Immobilizes. Superconductor, 30% additional damage against the freeze. Lightning spreads outward from the location hit with Lightning Strike. The spreading lightning inflicts 3 additional hits to deal the same damage and effects. Increases the power of Lightning Strike by 50%. Resets the cooldown of Lightning Strike when it activates a critical hit. Removes the cooldown of Lightning Strike. For 8 seconds, increases the power of Lightning Strike by 35% and its energy cost by 25% each time it is used up to 10 times. Changes Lightning Strike into a non-targeting skill that successfully inflicts strikes of lightning to up to 18 meters in front of you while dealing the same damage. Increases the duration of stun by 100%. So this one would require stacking a fair amount of crit, because if it crits, it resets the cooldown. Let's see if we can get at least 1 crit. Damn it. That's it, burn! Can't get a crit. Low crit build. Nope, no luck. Let's see this one. Lightning Strike, the one that splits outward. Whoa. Cool. Then it has one here that removes the cooldown, but its energy cost keeps increasing as you use it. Frost Hail. Launches frost spears gathered in the caster's surroundings to the front, dealing ice damage when it pierces targets. Obtained upon successful hit with an ice skill, 5 stacks. Inflicts stiffen targets hit with frost hail. Increases the number of stacks for frost spear by 2, firing up to 7 spears when frost hail is used. If the original skill attribute is active, frost hail is changed to be used automatically by registering a shortcut instead by entering a skill key. When frost hail is at 5 stacks, frost hail is cast automatically without having to be used while other skills are active. Obtain 1 frost spear each time frost hail hits a target inflicted with freeze. Wow. So I'm going to need a frosty spell. Let's use Frost Shot, Frost Bash on there, so we can use Frost Hail. So I got 5 of them already. Let's see. I'm going to cast this.
You do not satisfy the conditions for use.
It's not bad at all.
This skill requires a special effect.
Frost Hail. Has no cost. It's pretty much a free skill. Especially if you have it cast by itself. You don't even have to do anything. Let's try this again. I want to see this modifier thing here. Come on. Yep. It's casting on its own. I'm not even doing that. So while I'm casting other skills, it's just casting on its own. See that? Watch. Boom. So I go to use another skill right now, and it'll cast that as well as the actual skill I'm charging up. Huh. So I go to use this, it'll shoot that and the following skill. Be pretty powerful as well. Alright, enough of that. Next one. Volt Field. Nope, I skipped one. Frostfall. Projects freezing cold ice energy onto yourself to reset the cooldown of all ice property skills. Changes Frostfall into a Frost Spike and removes the existing effect that resets the cooldown. No cooldown is applied when using Frost Spike, and 30 energy years are consumed. When the skill is used, Frost Spike shoots out in a straight line up to 15 meters in front of you to attack enemies. Deals 130 power as ice damage when the skill hits a target. Decreases the remaining cooldown of ice property skills by 2 seconds every time the skill hits a target. Huh. Using Frostfall creates 8 icicles within a 15-meter range. Icicles explode 3 seconds after they are created, dealing 250 power as ice damage and inflicts freeze to nearby enemies. Ground targeting attack resets the cooldown of all ice property skills, including Frostfall, when enemies are hit with an icicle. The cooldown reset is removed from the existing skill when the existing skill is used. Increases the cooldown of Frostfall 50%. Changes the remaining cooldown of ice property skills to decrease by 50% when Frostfall is used. Inflicts enemies within 15 meters of the surrounding caster surrounding with Deep Freeze when Frostfall is used. Deep Freeze crowd control deals 30% additional electric damage. Increase the cooldown of Frostfall by 30%. Frostfall's interesting. I want to see this real quick. That is not the skill I wanted to use. Oh, it is very random. I see. So, Frostfall. 8 icicles within a 15-meter radius, so they could be anywhere. They explode after 3 seconds. Resets cooldown for all ice property skills, including Frostfall when enemies are hit. So you actually have to get a little lucky, I guess. But if you don't have the enemy slowed and you can drag them to kind of the frost thing, you can make it work. But for PvP, you know, it might not work too well. But some locations, like some of the clan wars, like if you're defending a base and there's a lot of fighting around one of the nodes, that might work. Volt Field. Summons an electromagnetic orb that pulls enemies in within a certain range before exploding. When it expires to deal powerful damage. Pulls targets in, immobilizes and disables skills with airborne, and deals 30% additional damage if they're frozen. Increases the power of Volt Field by 25%, increases skill range by 50%. Creates volt field in a location 12 meters in front of you and changes it to be movable so the location of the active volt field can be adjusted. Changes volt field into voltage ammo, removing its cooldown and changing it into a skill that consumes 40 energy. Launches a high angle piercing projectile that deals 150 power as electric damage to enemies it hits. Voltage ammo explodes the third time it hits the ground to deal 250 power as electric damage to a circular 4-meter range. Changes volt field into a ground targeting attack. Activates an electric orb in the designated location. Increases the power of electric orb's volt field by 50%. Let's try the I can move it when I want. Wow. Strong. Then, oops. Increases the power of volt field by 25%. Increases the skill range by 50%. That's pretty nice too. Let's try that one out. And cooldown done. Yeah, it's a bigger circle for sure. It's pulling them in. Damn, it didn't hit. Alright, a fiery dash. Engulfs herself in flames, then rapidly flies to the front and rains fire down on enemies in the path to deal damage. Agile. Increases dodge by 350 while active. Embers. Obtained upon activating a critical hit with the fire skill. It changes into Clouds of Fire at 3 stacks. Clouds of Fire. Instant casting is available for the next use of Fiery Bolt. Fiery Dash is available. Requires Fiery Bolt or Fiery Dash. Changes into Fiery Leap. Leaps up and lands. Then leaps again when used. Dealing 160 power as fire damage and inflicting stun for 2 seconds in a 2-meter range to the corresponding location while launching 3 fireballs to the surrounding 15 meters. When Fiery Dash is reused within 3 seconds after it has been used, the number of fireballs launched increases by 1 and can be increased to a max of 3. Using this skill activates a fire sphere that lasts for 4 seconds and obtains Clouds of Fire when the fire sphere is retrieved. Fire sphere can also be obtained by allies and grant effects to yourself when obtained. Clouds of Fire. Instant casting is available for the next use of Fiery Bolt. So Fiery Bolt would have to be on here, and if you use Fiery Dash, which will reset, we should be able to Fiery Dash engulfs yourself in flames. Instant casting is available.
You do not satisfy
So let's
the
see.
conditions for use.
Okay, so I need what? I need to change one of my skills. Hold up one sec. Get out of this fight. So if I use Combustion, I get Clouds of Fire. And that's going to enable the use, let's see, Clouds of Fire. Now I can use Fiery Dash. And try to avoid some enemies like that. So as long as they have Combustion, I can use Fiery Dash. Fiery Dash is supposed to do... It is a fire sphere that lasts for 4 seconds and obtains a cloud of fire when the sphere is retrieved. I gotta try this again. So, Combustion, I should be able to dodge. Oh, there it is. Did I get it? I don't even know. There we go. Let's try that again. But I don't know if you dash through it. Is it giving it to you? Well, that time it did. And you can insta-cast a Fiery Bolt. So the Combustion is going to give it to you, and then you can use Fiery Dash and try to continue that by picking it up again. Changes into a Fiery Leap. Leaps up and lands. That's cool. What do you think? Try it out? Let's try it out. Combustion. Ooh, that's cool. Burn! Burn, you hellish fiends. What game is that from? Leave in the comments below if you know. I'd be impressed. Alright, Frost Blast. Launches the gathered Frost Spears all at once. Knockback. Frost Spear. We've already gone over this one. We checked it. We took a look at this. Did we? No, we didn't. Yes, we did. We did, didn't we? We did not. What am I... Oh, Frost Hail is what it looks like. Okay, Frost Blast. We didn't look at this. Pushes target back with force. Obtained upon successful hit with an ice skill. 5 stacks max. Launches gathered Frost Spheres all at once. So this is similar. Frost Spear, Frost Spear. They both use Frost Sphere charges to do different things. Frost Hail and Frost Blast. Interesting. Increase the number of blows when using Frost Blast by 4, dealing a total of 12 blows. Changes Frost Blast into Frost Rain. Frost Rain has no cooldown and can be used while moving. Using Frost Rain deals damage with the same power as Frost Blast in a circular 12-meter range in front of you. However, the knockback effect of Frost Blast will be removed. Increases the cooldown of Frost Blast by 50% and enables it to be used while moving. Using this launches Frost Spear in a circular range in the castle surroundings every 0.2 seconds for a total of 4 times. That sounds cool. Increases the hit speed of Frost Blast by 60% and its power by 20%. Give me some frosty abilities real quick. I'm gonna need this. That is the wrong ability. Ooh, that is visually impressive. That looks really good. Cool animation.
This skill requires a special effect. This skill requires a special effect.
Very cool. Lightning Torrent. Leaps to the front and unleashes electricity to your surroundings to wipe out nearby enemies. Stiffen, Relentless. Grants immunity from all crowd control effects. Superconductor. You leap forward. Changes the number of blows for Lightning Torrent to 3, dealing 100 power as electric damage and inflicting knockback to enemies hit with the final blow. Increases the cooldown of Lightning Torrent by 1 second for every target hit. Changes the property of Lightning Torrent to Fire and disables Leap. Increases the total number of blows to 4 and inflicts hit enemies with an effect that decreases healing received by 100% for 4 seconds. Changes Lightning Torrent to pierce through enemies when used. Adds an effect that inflicts stun for 2 seconds when it hits a target, and summons a Lightning Tornado for 8 seconds in the casting location. Lightning Tornado follows the caster while inflicting stun on enemies it hits. Lightning Tornado explodes when it makes contact with the caster, inflicting stun for 2 seconds and dealing the same damage as Lightning Torrent. Increases the power of Lightning Torrent by 20%. We gotta drag these last few abilities on the bar so we can use them. Lightning Torrent, which one sounds interesting? Let's try it out with this first. That's cool.
This skill requires a special effect.
Alright, leave us alone. That's the one that changes the blows to 3 and knocks them back. Let's try the fire one. See what that looks like. It's kind of cool. Healing reduced by 100% too on that. Has its uses in PvP, I'm sure.
Satisfy the conditions for use.
Try not to use the other abilities. We gotta wait. Gotta go through them. All right, Firehawk. Unleashes a Firehawk that pierces through and burns all enemies in its path. Knocks down, disables skills. Changes into a non-piercing projectile that explodes when it hits a target, but temporarily inflicts stiffen on the first and second blow. Greatly increases the casting speed and can be combined with third and fourth additional blows that have the same power as the first and second blows, enabling it to be combined up to 5 times. Increases energy cost by 100%, but consumes stamina by 1,000. Caster becomes the Firehawk, moves directly and increases damage by 350 while moving. I'm sorry, increases dodge by 350 while moving. Deals the same damage and effects as the existing Firehawk skill in your path. Creates a fiery wall in the direction of the projectile is headed. In the direction the projectile is headed and increases power by 25% upon the third blow. Let's try the increased casting speed. Cool. Frost Shield. Summons an ice shield that provides cover around the caster, granting invincibility in exchange for immobilizing them. Targets that attack you while the Frost Shield is active are inflicted with freeze. Changes the Frost Shield into a lock-on targeting skill that is used on 3 enemies and increases the cooldown by 100%. Using this skill grants targets with Frost Shield, making them invincible for 3 seconds, so you can't even attack the enemies. Afterwards, Frostbite deals 150 power as ice damage every second for 3 seconds. Cannot be inflicted on enemies with immunity from crowd control. Changes Frost Shield to Frost Icicle and increases the cooldown by 100%. Enters the Frost Icicle state when used and gains invincibility for 3 seconds to recover health by 5% every second. That's 15% health. The Icicle automatically explodes after 3 seconds to deal 250 power as ice damage and inflict freeze. Cannot be removed by yourself. Opportune Frost Shield. Increases the cooldown of Frost Shield by 100% and does not activate Frost Shield but a giant Frost Tower with a 4-meter radius for 5 seconds instead. Grants invincibility to the cast within the Frost Tower. Increases ice magic damage by 20%. Let's try the one that we can cast at people. That's the wrong skill. This one. Go! They're invincible right now. Can't take damage, but afterwards they get that dot. That does some nasty damage. Cool. Last skill, Fire Bloom. Draws upon the scorching energy of the flames to obtain clouds of fire and temporarily enhance fire skills. So this is the instant cast one. Let's go ahead and get ourselves Fiery Bash on the bar. Increases critical hit rate of fire skills by 100% while active. What the hell? Can be combined with Ignition if the Fire Bloom effect is active. Using Ignition removes Fire Bloom from yourself and deals 240 damage as fire damage and inflicts airborne to a 2-meter radius in front of you. The caster removes back when the Ignition is used. Increases duration of Fire Bloom by 50%. Summons a meteorite 2 seconds after Fire Bloom is used that drops on a max of 5 targets within an 18-meter range. Deals 455 power as fire damage when it hits a target. Using Fire Bloom resets the remaining cooldown of all fire property skills. And it recovers energy. I'm going to try the one that can be combined. Let's see. So if I use this again, it'll consume it. Okay, it's a step back when it consumes it. It's short range. So it uses the Fire Bloom instead of using the Fire Bloom for another skill, like the Fiery Bash. Is it Fiery Bash? No. Fiery Bolt. Wrong one. Once again. Oh, okay, so I can use it again. Oh, it doesn't consume the instant cast. It just uses its own thing. You can combo it. It's not like a negative effect at all. So you could still do that. If an enemy, like a melee enemy gets in your face, you could pop them up in the air airborne. It drops you back a little bit, and then you can instant cast a fireball on them, or use the Fiery Dash to even put more distance on you. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Let's see the meteorite thing. Come on, man. That's insane. What the hell? So, summons a meteorite that does crazy damage, and it also increases critical hit rate of fire skills by 100%. So you're guaranteed to crit, and you get an instant fireball. So check this out one more time. I'm going to call in this meteor. right? Boom. Instant fireball for another guaranteed crit. That's ridiculous. This here increases the duration of Fire Bloom by 50%. So I could have this Firehawk set to this. So take a look at this. If I use this, it should increase my critical strike chance with fire skills by 100% for 10 seconds. Or is it 50% increase? 50%. So it should be 7.5 seconds, right? Yeah. So when I use this, I should be able to instant cast this, and then use this, and just do crazy crits. That's some damage, though. That's some real damage. One more thing before we leave.
Completed the clan missions. You can receive a reward.
One more. Do I have enough? Yeah. Forget you, Frost Shield. I'm gonna use this Fiery Explosion, because this skill does some crazy damage. And look, I still have my instant cast right now. It's still on me. I could just carry it with me. It like never wears off. So if I go and use, let's see, if I use this, it'll increase my chance to crit by 100%, and then, yeah, that's a little nuts. I'm not gonna lie, that's a little crazy. That's wild. Well, guys, that was the end of the Elementalist. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. This was fun. It's been real, my friends. I will catch you guys in the next video. Take a look at the channel for a lot of Elyon videos. There's a lot of stuff. All the other classes are here. Got videos, same videos as I did for the Elementalist for all the other 4 classes, and I'm going to do one for Slayer when that next beta test comes out, and Slayer is available to play. I'll do one for that as well. Plus, I have a long video, part 1 and part 2, about all of the features, very in-depth video on all the Elyon features, like what game this is, really what you're getting yourself into when you play this game, all about it. So thank you very much for watching. Check down below for the guild Discord if you're interested in joining the guild at all. The channel's Discord if you just want to chat, the channel's Twitch, all that good stuff. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Skiddat!